Even if you don't know Galt MacDermot by name, you know his music. Here's how a Canadian composer became the go-to source for rap's biggest producers.
Want them to hear this one, loud and clear, bright and early. Listen.
Hip-hop producers digging in the crates found his music and repurposed it. On the website Who Sampled, which is a database for hip-hop songs and their sample sources, a search for Galt MacDermot reveals 184 songs, and that's just the ones we know of.
My introduction to Galt MacDermot was probably not unlike other people's. It's probably through Coffee Cold. I believe I first heard that on Handsome Boy Modeling School.
For the Handsome Boy Modeling School.
Justice, my rap forte is judge, jury, bailiff, for prosecuting, DA, etc.
We've compiled our life experiences of international playboys and handsome men into one terrific course.
Baby, I won't die without you by my side.
Yo, we're the Handsome Boy Modeling School.
Man, Galt MacDermot, I'd have to definitely give Danny Automated credit for that because he's the one who found that record and we just took it and just chopped it. Listen to that record and then going through the whole album, it just made me realize just how dope he is. I didn't realize his body of work was that incredible.
He's able to be super emotive with just a couple clinks of the piano. It's the most emotion in like the briefest blast of time.
Thank you.
Recently in London, I went to the Shaftesbury Theatre to watch a rehearsal. Friday night, that American show by a Canadian composer opened there. It's called Hair.
After moving to New York from Montreal at the age of 36, MacDermot became a Broadway sensation with the release of Hair in 1967. He recorded soundtracks for film.
Cotton comes to Harlem.
And he released over 60 albums, covering everything from chamber music and opera to funk, R&B, and jazz.
I ain't got no country, ain't got no schooling, ain't got no friends, ain't got no nothing.
Simone's Ain't Got No, I Got Life was a medley of two MacDermot songs, and everyone from Cannonball, Adderly, and Barbra Streisand to Sesame Street have covered his music.
Starshine with love in your sky.
My father's was a bit like a guy who found a mine. You know, he'd go into the mine and come out with rubies and emeralds and things like that. And those were the songs. I ran into him and his music copyist when I was graduating college. He said, "Your father has more than 3,000 catalog works. That's more than Mozart."
With that artifact sound, but kids get wrecking the beats.
I came from a place I forgot. I woke up in the parking lot, far from a meal in the cot. On the corner where all the streets got the same name. Maybe my brain.
In the early 90s, as the art of sampling was beginning to boom, hip-hop producers found his music and repurposed it. As a result, demand for MacDermot's records, like this one, has grown, making them incredibly hard to find.
Where do I go? Follow my heartbeat.
In those days, these producers were coming over to my father's house. They would go down to the basement. They'd come back up with, a stack of records and pay cash. And my mother would sit them down and make tea for them.
One of the first hit hip-hop songs to sample Galt MacDermot was this one right here, Run-DMC's 1993 hit, Down with the King. And the Hair soundtrack has been a constant source of inspiration since its release. Kanye West flipped a song from this record for a standout song from Mos Def's 2004 album, The New Danger.
Brand new day, y'all.
turn me up in the top a little bit, dawg. I want them to know. I want them to hear this one. Loud and clear, bright and early. Listen.
Even his early stuff on, you could hear all the polyrhythms and how it's just beautifully layered. And so the texture in his music early on was still reflected a sort of worldly approach. And that's perfect for hip hop.
Check out the instrumental song Space from McDermott's 1969 album Woman is Sweeter. This one is rare. Busta Rhymes producer Rashad Smith transformed that song into Busta's 1996 hit, WOO-HAHI, Got You All in Check.
I'm guaranteed to give you what you need. One blood, everybody like Junior Reed.
Rashad Smith told me he found that one of those albums in North Carolina in a record bin. And there was a little thing in space that he liked, the chord change or whatever, he looped it, and that became the basis of, you know, WOO-HAHI, Got You All in Check.
When people started discovering Galt MacDermot, it's like, look at this treasure chest to choose from. You know what I mean? It's just so perfect. There's so much to choose from if you're sampling. It's just like so much to cherry pick from.
Yep, let's do this, ain't no pepe le pew. This is what we do, Monage, it's why we do. Dead end.
McDermott was celebrated in his day for his impact on Broadway, but through sampling, his music was given a second life. He's been sampled so many times that he's essentially become rap royalty, with many producers referring to him simply as King Galt.
Listen to this shit because we keep it till dawn. Listen to the ass track, gotta go.
You know, kids, I wish every mom and dad would make a
I think every mom and
No wonder hip hop like went back and did its research and like, you know, pulled from your art.
Corners and switching positions, auditioning morticians, sword in a vision, ignoring prison.
When you finally hear the original, it's like, it's so familiar yet different. And you know, bringing it back to Galt, I mean, it's just so perfect. It's just a wealth. It's a wealth to cherry pick from.
I think guys that are going for beauty, I mean, I use the word beauty, but musical beauty, let's say, just keep going until they find it. And my father's music is full of musical beauty, in my opinion, you know? And something about my father's music moved these guys. Otherwise, they wouldn't have responded to it, you know?